For those of you who've been following the primary season and have noticed a pattern from state to state of irregularities that oddly enough always make it more difficult to vote, or impossible in many cases, especially in New York, I would like to say that we've gotten justice, but we haven't. But we've gotten something at the very least. Diane Haslett-Rudiano has been suspended without pay pending an internal investigation into the administration of the voter rolls in the Borough of Brooklyn. Now, this is one of the most high-profile individual cases of apparent tampering with people's ability to vote in that particular primary, with 120,000 plus people in this one instance not being able to vote as a result of what this person apparently has done. Now, people rightfully so, including Jordan Sheridan, TYT's roving campaign reporter, have been covering this every step of the way and attempting to get something approaching justice. We'll never get a full recount. We can't. People weren't allowed to vote. They're not going to do it again. It has simply, what has happened, as has happened in so many cases so far. But we want to make sure that whoever has done this in each of these cases is prosecuted as strongly as possible to stop others from being willing to do it in the future. Now, many people have brought this up. In this case, we've got the comptroller, the New York City comptroller, Scott Stringer. He said, why is it alleged that 125,000 people have been removed from the voter rolls? Why did 60,000 people receive notices to vote that didn't have the primary date? Why were people told they were in the wrong polling place time and time again? The next president of the United States could very easily be decided tonight, and yet the incompetence of the Board of Elections puts a cloud over these results. A cloud that is not going to go away as a result of this person being suspended without pay. We obviously want something stronger than that. Really fast, I want you to look ahead to, theoretically, whoever might win the presidency. And will they be willing to look into cases of voter suppression and voter, taking people off of the rolls, closing down voting places, making it impossible for people to vote? Is Donald Trump or Ted Cruz going to do it? No, they don't give a fuck. They're going to do it as much as they can. Bernie Sanders is probably too nice of a guy to do it. He doesn't raise a stink when constantly in primary after primary we have these sorts of problems because he's just too much of a lib. And then Hillary Clinton, well, we know what she's going to do. She is from the school of Barack Obama. She wants to look forward, not backward. Why would we prosecute this sort of thing? Why would we try to protect the integrity and the future of our democratic process? And then you find out that there were 1,000 voter complaints to the New York Attorney General as a result of what happened in New York, compared to 150 back in 2012, about errors that might have resulted in just this one case in 8% of Brooklyn's registered voters from being able to vote. And that is what gives me a bit of optimism. That's what gives me a bit of heart. Because that 1,000 people are actual individuals who are willing to not only pay attention to politics, as tough as it is to fit it into your everyday life, who are not only willing to actually go to the rallies and finally to go to vote as hard as they have made it, to even get the information, let alone to actually be able to vote. But then, when their rights are taken away from them, they're willing to go to the next step and to actually fight to get those rights back. And that is what we need. Now, New York is just one case of this. Wisconsin had issues. Arizona was like something out of the Soviet Union. I don't even know what the fuck was going on there. Now, at least in the case of Arizona, both the Bernie Sanders campaign and the Hillary Clinton campaign are saying that they're going to sue and they want to fix things. And they should, because it's not just Bernie Sanders supporters who are affected by this. It affects everybody. Hillary Clinton supporters, some Republicans as well. We know historically Republicans don't give a damn about disenfranchising their own voters as long as it hurts the core constituencies of the Democratic Party. But this is growing to the level of, I'm wondering if this is as serious a problem across the country as campaign finance. Because the huge influx of money, the ability of individuals and groups and corporations to buy our election, they deceive people. They push to have the candidates they want, giving people a false choice. A million different ways they pervert the system. But at the end of the day, if you can't vote anyway, what does it matter if you have information? What does it matter if you have the right candidate to vote for? If you're not going to actually be able to go and vote, it's all for naught. And that's why, as important as it is that we fight to get rid of Citizens United, to go much farther than that, this is another important step that we have to be willing to push for during the primary, during the general election, and regardless of what happens. It doesn't matter if this woman loses her job permanently, it doesn't matter if this woman goes to jail. That is not enough. We need to fight even after at the actual general election day. We need to make sure that this closing down of 2/3 or 3/4 of the polling places, that is of the past. We're not going to allow that anymore. We're going to increase access to the polls. We're going to increase access to same-day registration. Look, in the last presidential election, I was lucky enough that I went to a place to vote. There was nobody even there aside from the poll workers. I walked in, there was no line, I voted, and I was done. I had that privilege. But most Americans don't have that privilege, and they're not going to unless we fight for it.